Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Yeah. So last class we were discussing about Lord Shiva, and we also discussed about the 5 tattvas. Yes, you can. So yeah, you're able to see. So this is Sandhini, Sambit, Ladini. These are the 3 energies, if you remember. And then there are 5 truths: Vishnu Tattva, Sakti Tattva, Guru Tattva, Sambhu Tattva, Jiva Tattva. Correct? And we discussed elaborately about Lord Shiva, who is the best of all Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva chants the Lord's holy name constantly, and Lord Shiva does everything to please the Lord. And last class we were also discussing how Lord Shiva inspires everyone to take the service to Lord Vishnu more nicely and go back to spiritual world. That is Lord Shiva's main business, to inspire us to go back to spiritual world. Yes? Correct? Anyone has any other point which we discussed, wants to? No? Okay. So today we will see, so now what we saw till now is, so if you remember, we saw that there is material world and there is spiritual world. Yes? Sorry. So there is material world and there is spiritual world, and in spiritual world and material world, we have come from spiritual world to material world, and the goal of life is to go back from material world to spiritual world. Correct? Yes? So anyone asks, what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to help the soul, to for all of us, we create such situations in our life that we go back from material world to spiritual world, right? So Lord Shiva has his role where Lord Shiva helps us to create a facility here so that we can all go back to spiritual world. That's the Sambhu Tattva, if you remember. So now, basically now we will focus on the Jiva Tattva. So we did lot of things, discussion on Vishnu Tattva. We discussed about God, Krishna, different avatars and all those things. We discussed about Guru, also how it is important that we need to have some people in our life who can tell us about God, help us. And we discussed about Sambhu, Lord Shiva. So now we will discuss about ourselves. Okay, so it's need to be discussed about Jiva Tattva, right? So all these tattvas are eternal. Like we all are eternally Jiva Tattva. It's not that sometimes we'll become Vishnu, sometimes Radharani will become Krishna, sometimes Lakshmi will become Vishnu, or Vishnu will become Lakshmi. It's not like that. Eternally, the tattvas are all same. So we will discuss more about the Jiva Tattva. Okay? Yeah. So now, there are 2 categories of jivas. Okay? So we will first read. Okay, now let me write down here. This is good. So here is material world and here is spiritual world. So this is Jiva 1 category. This is Jiva 2 category. Okay. So there are some souls who are in spiritual world, which we have already discussed, I think, about it. And there are some souls who are in material world. Okay. And so we will now discuss about the Jiva category 1, which are in spiritual world. And these categories of Jivas are called the Nitya Siddhas. They are called the Nitya Siddhas. Okay. Okay, so we will recite this verse from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha.
Mahatmanastu Mam Partha.
Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha.
Devim Prakritim Ashritaha.
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso.
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso.
Gyatva Bhutadim Abhyayam.
Yata Bhutatim Apyayam.
So, there is one particular category of Jivas which are called the Nitya Siddhas, who are Daivi Prakriti Ashrita. What is this Daivi Prakriti? This is because this is basically the spiritual world, the Divya Prakriti. The Divya Prakriti. So, this is Daivi Prakriti. So, they have taken shelter of the Daivi Prakriti, Daivi Prakriti Ashrita. So, this is one category of Jivas who are Nitya Siddhas. Nitya Siddhas matlab kya hai? What is meaning of Nitya Siddhas? Siddhi matlab they have realized their actual identity. And Nitya matlab they are eternally, fully conversant about their actual identity. What is actual identity? Actual identity, I am a lover of God and I am a servant of God. So that is our actual identity. So those who are eternally, always remembering their actual identity, working with that actual identity, they are called the Nitya Siddhas. Right? So this is the category of Jivas who stay in spiritual world. So the categories, they stay in spiritual world, this spiritual world, and they are always conversant about their eternal identity. Okay. Now, so we'll move ahead. Now, okay, so here there is a small thing which we need to discuss also. So what these Jivas are doing in spiritual world? So what is their actual identity? This is their actual identity. So they want to enjoy by enhancing Lord's pastimes. This is very important aspect. So little bit we have to understand this. This is little bit we need to discuss on this. So there is the spiritual world and there is the material world. In spiritual world, everyone is Das. In material world, everyone is, can anyone say?
Master.
Dandavad. Boss. Like This is the basic difference between spiritual world and material world. Okay, the place difference is there. Let's say, for example, consider like you have seen coming to ISKCON temple. It's a different experience. Why? Because everyone wants to serve. हर कोई सबका सेवा करने लग जाता है. So, if in family life also, let's say हम लगते हैं प्रभु मंदिर में आते हैं तो बहुत आनंद आता है. जैसे हमारे कोई आते हैं, गेस्ट लोग आते हैं तो बोलते हैं मंदिर में प्रभु जी बहुत शांति है. तो हम उनको बोलते हैं कि यही शांति आप अपने घर में भी लेके आ सकते हैं. हाँ, मंदिर का शांति घर में कैसे मिलेगा महाराज जी? ना घर में कैसे मिलेगा? अगर पत्नी पति का सेवा करना चाहेगा और पति पत्नी का सेवा करना चाहेगा, पति पत्नी बच्चों का सेवा करना चाहता है और बच्चे पति पत्नी का सेवा करना चाहते हैं, मम्मी पापा का, तो मंदिर वैकुंठ बन जाएगा. बट होता क्या है? होता यह है कि द हस्बैंड वांट्स टू बिकम बॉस ऑफ द वाइफ and the wife doesn't want to become das. The wife wants to become boss of husband. And then the children, they want to become boss of their parents. So there is a competition who will be boss. So material world means there is boss competition, boss pratiyogita. And spiritual world means there is das pratiyogita. You're able to understand? So you should not think that one day will come when I'll go to spiritual world. Why one day will come you will go to spiritual world, you will go to Vrindavan? You can right away experience Vrindavan while staying right now. If we are competing to become Das, and everyone who is staying together is competing to become Das, मैं कैसे दास करूंगा, मैं कैसे सेवा करूंगा, तो वो आध्यात्मिक जगत हो जाएगा. And don't think Krishna is in the mood of boss in spiritual world. Krishna is also in the mood of Das only. ऐसे नहीं कि भगवान है तो मैं तो बॉस में रहूंगा, आप सब मेरे को सेवा करो. आध्यात्मिक जगत में, इन स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड, whoever is there, starting from God to जीवात्मा to all these तत्वस जो हमने मेंशन किया, whatever तत्वस are there, all these tattvas, these 5 tattvas, all these 5 tattvas are there in spiritual world, and all these 5 tattvas, they come to material world also. The problem is only one of the tattva, that is jiva tattva. When jiva comes to material world, he forgets. बाकी सब याद रखते हैं कि मैं दास हूं. विष्णु कभी भूलते नहीं कि मैं दास हूं. शक्ति कभी भूलते नहीं है. You will not find Lakshmi ji along with taking a photograph with someone else other than Vishnu. हर समय लक्ष्मी, you have seen any time लक्ष्मी किसी और के साथ घूम रही है, अब विष्णु बोर लग रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. लक्ष्मी will never forget, Parvati will never forget, Shiva will never forget. It's not that one point of time Shiva is chanting some Bollywood songs. कभी नहीं होगा ऐसे. Shiva will chant always Lord Ram's names only. But Jivatma जो है, that is, Jivatma is always tottering. That's why Jivatma, Jiva Tattva is called, a name is there that we will like to discuss for some time, that is called Tatasthaha. Tatastha Sakti. What is meaning of Tatastha? Just like there is river bank, and in river bank there is sand this side and there is sand this side. Now this side there is water and this side it is dry. Okay. So it is dry here. So there is sand on both the sides of the river bank. There is sand on this side of the river bank. There is sand on that side of the river bank. Sometimes the sand on this side is wet. Sometimes it is dry. Correct? Which is on the tata. Tata matlab? Tat samajhte hain? Tat. Bank, tat. So that jivas which are on the tatastha, sometimes they are wet, sometimes they are dry. They have a tendency to be either wet or dry, correct? So similarly, these jivas, when they come to material world, they have a tendency to forget their real identity, that I am Das. And then they try to take up this mood of boss pratiyogita. Hare Krishna. And that is the beginning of all miseries in life. This boss pratiyogita. All family problems, anything, husband-wife problem, any problem is all because of this boss pratiyogita. If this boss pratiyogita is over, then all problem will over. If you want Vaikuntha or Vrindavan in your home, then you start Das Pratiyogita. The husband comes and says, I want to serve you, darling. And the wife comes and says, I want to serve you. And the children wants to serve the parents. Parents wants to serve the children. Everyone wants to serve. Let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say in this, if everyone wants to serve each other, then everyone is receiving service and everyone is happy about receiving service. Let's say, for example, we decide, मैं करण का ख्याल रखूंगा. करण सोचता है राहुल का ख्याल रखेगा. राहुल सोचता है श्याम नारायण का ख्याल रखेगा. श्याम नारायण थिंक्स सुभान का ख्याल में रखूंगा. सुभान थिंक्स शिवम का ख्याल रखूंगा. शिवम थिंक्स अरविंद का ख्याल रखना है. अरविंद थिंक्स निराकार का ख्याल रखना है. Is everyone taken care or not? But no one has to think about himself or herself. This is spiritual world. Not that spiritual world people are thinking, oh, who will take care of me? I am to Das, but who will be taking care of me? No, there are a lot of people who will take care. Like if you have become Das in spiritual world, there are 100 people who will take care of you. But if you want to become boss, then you have to come to material world. So these personalities who are Nitya Siddhas Jivas, see, there are all other tattvas, Vishnu, Sakti, Guru, Sambhu, all these, they will never forget their Das Bhav. But these Nitya Siddhas are people who are fully in conversant of their Das Bhav. Right? And then there is Nitya Baddhas. So these Nitya Baddhas are also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Mogha samogha karamano.
Mogha samogha karamano.
Mogha jnana vichetasaha.
Mogha jnana vichetasaha.
Rakshashim asurim chaiva.
Rakshashim asurim chaiva.
Prakritim mohini shrita. So they take care of, they are ashrit. Ashrita matlab shelter. They have taken up Mohini Prakriti. Mohini Prakriti. Mohini matlab? What is meaning of Mohini? Hey? Mohini का मतलब क्या होता है? Mohini. Mohan.
Enchanting.
Enchanting. Illusory.
Yeah, Maya.
Maya. So what is Maya? Why Maya is required? Why Maya is required? You see, all of us are in Das. But when we want to become boss, now you are Das, you want to become boss, so that facilitation, तुम boss है, that feeling of facilitation कि तुम boss है, तुम manager है, तुम director है, तुम CEO है, that is Mohini Shrita, that is illusory. अगर भगवान ही बॉस नहीं है तो हम कैसे बॉस हो सकते हैं? सोचिए आप. If God is always in the mood of das, always wants to serve, we want to have something in us which is not there in God also. See, God is the source of everything. Everything comes from God. Now, the God always is in das bhav, and we have come from God, so naturally we have this das bhav. But we want to become boss. So when we want to become boss, so a illusion, Maya is created, so that we can think artificially, मैं boss हूं, मैं boss हूं, I'm great. What do you think? Sam Narayan, I'm great or not? Yes. Tell I'm great. Tell. Speak. Unmute.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are great.
Tell something more. Tell.
You are powerful.
Yes. Good. Thank you. What else? You see, I am powerful. This is the condition of all greatness in this world. So this is how Mohini Srita. So a thin person is being told, you are powerful. And the person feels, yes, I am powerful. Similarly, an ugly person said, तुम कितनी सुंदर हो. And every lady thinks, मैं तो बहुत सुंदर हूँ. She may be the most ugliest lady in the world, but anyone comes and तुम सुंदर हो. She is fully convinced, yes, मैं सुंदर हूँ. Yes. So this is what is Maya. Maya means we are das, not just we, everyone is a das. Lord Vishnu is das, Shiva is das, Parvati is das, everyone is in the mode of dasya bhav. Everyone thinks I am das, all others are boss. But the Jiva Atma in material world, when they come, they think I am boss, everyone is das. Even we want to make God as our das. That's why all of us go to temple. Why we want to go to temple? We have our talika, order list. भगवान गाड़ी देना, भगवान मेरे को ये देना, भगवान मेरे को अच्छा साड़ी देना, भगवान देना, भगवान देना, भगवान देना, भगवान देना, और भगवान. Yes. So this is our bhav. Even in spirituality also, this bhav comes out. So until and unless we transform ourselves of this bhav, there is no question of spirituality. This is not spirituality. Spirituality begins when we start initiating our transformation of from boss to das. जब तक हम बॉस भाव से दास भाव नहीं आएंगे, आध्यात्मिकता की प्रारंभ नहीं हुआ है. कोई श्लोक पढ़ के, भगवद गीता का 700 श्लोक रट्टा मार के, भगवद गीता का संपूर्ण ज्ञान सीख के कोई आध्यात्मिक व्यक्ति कहला नहीं जाएगा. You cannot be called a spiritual person just because you have remembered some slokas. You are speaking about, let's say, Sri Nitai Das. He cannot be called a spiritual person because he knows Bhagavad Gita and he teaches Bhagavad Gita to some people. That's not the criteria for spirituality. Criteria for spirituality is how much we have developed within us the attitude to serve others. And it begins with our family. And it ends with thinking the entire creation as our family. Vasudha Eka Kutumbakam. It begins, this Dasya Bhav begins with our family. ठीक है, my husband, my wife, my children, my father, my mother. At least you become das of them. Then at least you have begun the process of spirituality. but that is the beginning. The end is we are servant of everyone. We are servant of the trees, we are servant of the dogs, we are servant of the insects, we are servant of the cows, we are servant of the human beings, we are servant of everyone. We are just servants. I remember when I first wrote my name Sri Nitai Das, and up that I wrote your servant to a new person. Servant? प्रभु आप मेरे दास नहीं हैं. मैं बोला दास ही हूं तो क्या हुआ, दास ही हूं तो मैं. And then I remembered in my first year in IIT, I had written my father, your servant. My goodness, IIT भेजा, सर्वेंट बना दिया. क्या कर रहे इस्कॉन वाले, मेरे बेटे को सर्वेंट बना दिया. अब तुम झाड़ू लगाएगा, पोछा लगाएगा, इसी के लिए तुमको पढ़ाया मैंने. Then I wrote दासानुदास, सर्वेंट ऑफ द सर्वेंट. हाय पागल, पूरा इनका पूरा ब्रेन वॉश कर दिया, पागल कर दिया. सो दो नित्य बद्धास हु आर इन मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, उनको बोलिए सर्वेंट. बाप रे, सर्वेंट, I am servant of you. Imagine the husband says that you are servant to the wife. Why? मैं servant हूँ. Huh? So it is not about telling others you are servant. We are teaching all of you that we are servant. It's not telling, oh पता चल गया आज क्लास में प्रभु जी इतना अच्छा टॉपिक बताया. Sam Narayan will tell, Alka, I heard a very nice topic today. We have understood, Alka, I have understood that we are all servant, and since you are servant, serve me, Alka. So this is not about applying to others. This is for self-application. मैं servant हूं. पूरा दुनिया बॉस हो, servant हो, मेरे को कुछ पता नहीं. मैं servant हूं, मैं सेवक हूं. मैं भगवान का सेवक हूं, मैं पूरा समाज का सेवक हूं. यह आध्यात्मिकता है. And I will tell you, if you are in the mood of servant, even if your family rejects you, there will be someone Krishna will send to take care of you. Sometimes we think ना, प्रभु जी अगर सर्वेंट भाव में आ जाएंगे पूरा एक्सप्लॉइट हो जाएंगे. कोई एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं होगा. People will be there to exploit you, but you will not get exploited. You are understanding this? लोग रहेंगे आपको एक्सप्लॉइट करने के लिए, आप अगर सर्वेंट भाव में रहेंगे, बट आप एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं होंगे, because Krishna will give you intelligence how not to get exploited, and Krishna will also give you facilities where you will also get the service. धर्मो रक्षति रक्षितः. अगर कोई धर्म को रक्षा करता है उसको जरूर रक्षा मिलेगा. So we are all in this बॉस प्रतियोगिता, and जब तक ये बॉस प्रतियोगिता बंद नहीं होगा, ये आनंद शांति इस दुनिया में आएगा ही नहीं. एंड आध्यात्मिक जगत में क्योंकि दास प्रतियोगिता चलता है, everyone is in competition. The boss, the Krishna is in competition, the Jivas are also in competition. कैसे मैं अच्छे से servant बनूं? And that's why there is so much of Ananda. There is a song Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing in Vrindavan Ashtakam. And in Vrindavan Ashtakam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling what is so special about Vrindavan. Why Vrindavan is so special? Why Vrindavan is filled with happiness? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling, all of you repeat, Yatradhipatyam Vrishabhanuputya Yeno dayet prema Sukham jananam. यत्र यत्र वृंदावन मतलब यत्र मतलब जहां पे, वृंदावन में आधिपत्य, आधिपत्य मतलब ओनरशिप, सुप्रीमेसी. यत्र आधिपत्यम वृषभानुपुत्र्या. वृषभानु महाराज कौन है? राधा रानी की पिताजी. पुत्र मतलब राधा रानी, जहां पे भगवान अपनी आधिपत्य को छोड़ के राधा रानी को अपना आधिपत्य दे दिए, मतलब अपना बॉस भाव छोड़ दिए और दास बन गए राधा रानी का। ये नोदयत, इसके वजह से प्रेमम सुखम जनानाम, ये जो भाव है सारे जन में अगर आ जाएगा तो सारे जन के हृदय में वृंदावन धाम बस जाएगा। तो वृंदावन बाहर है, पर वृंदावन कैन ऑल्सो बी देयर इन आवर हार्ट। ये नोदयत, हाउ? बाय एक्चुअली कल्टिवेटिंग दिस मूड ऑफ servitude. Oh Krishna, you become Adhipati of my life. Oh Radharani, you become Adhipati. I am just a servant. So even Krishna, he becomes a servant of Radharani and everyone else in Vrindavan Dham. And that's why Vrindavan is so special. So this principle is being explained here, that Mohini Ashrita. So when we are Mohini Ashrita, and when we are illusory, when we are taking shelter of the Maya Shakti, the Jivatma thinks, मैं boss हूं, मैं boss हूं, मैं boss हूं. And जीवन में वृंदावन लेके आना, आध्यात्मिक जगत जाने का सिंपल तरीका है, दास्य भाव में आ जाइए. Okay? Now we will discuss about categories of Nitya Baddhas. There are 4 categories of Nitya Baddhas. Okay? The first category, Nitya Baddhas are basically staying in the material world. So the first category is atheist. भगवान नहीं है, कोई नहीं है, कुछ भगवान नहीं है, बकवास चल रहा है, ये सब भंड साधु लोग अपना बिजनेस बनाए, there is no God. So this is, तो उनका तो क्वेश्चन ही नहीं, there is no point in discussion about them. So they are atheist. So Bhagavad Gita explains only one type of atheist. Okay. So but in Bhagavatam there are 5 types of atheist. So we will not discuss about atheist, but they are one category of Nitya Baddhas. So why they don't want to accept God? Because if they accept God, at least there is one person who is my boss and I am his das. No. I am boss. That's why they don't want to accept God. You are able to understand why people are becoming atheist? Because they don't even want to accept dasatva of God also. Because if God exists, then he is boss. Then मैं प्रतियोगिता में कैसे जीतूंगा? हर समय तो वही जीतेगा बॉस प्रतियोगिता में. तो गॉड को ही काटा, निकालो उसको. गॉड है ही नहीं, तो फिर हर समय मैं ही विनर हूं बॉस प्रतियोगिता में. सो एथिस्ट, they want to take out God because they don't want competition in their boss pratiyogita. If God is there, then he will always be the winner. How can I be the winner of boss pratiyogita? That's why God is not there. That is their logic. So we will not discuss more about them. Then there are 4 categories of theist. Bhagavad Gita explains. Theist matlab those who believe in some authority. Theist means they believe that there is some authority. Who is that authority? Whatever it is, but there is some authority higher than me. There are 4 categories Bhagavad Gita explains. Jnana yagyena chapyanye.
Jnana yagyena chapyanye.
Yajanto mam upasate.
Yajanto mam upasate.
Ekatvena prithaktvena.
Ekatvena prithaktvena.
Bahuda vishwato mukham. ओके, सो भगवान बोल रहे हैं 4 कैटेगरी. इधर 3 लिखा हुआ है, एकत्वेना, पृथक्त्वेना एंड बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम. 3 कैटेगरी इधर लिखा हुआ है श्लोक में. एकत्वेना मीन्स देयर इज वन कैटेगरी हु इज एथिस्ट, हु डोंट बिलीव इन गॉड, बिकॉज बॉस प्रतियोगिता हो जाएगा. बॉस प्रतियोगिता में लॉर्ड विल बी द विनर. There is another category, they say I am only God. So I will always be the winner. So one category is atheist. They say no God, because if God is there, then he will be the winner, sole winner of God Pratiyogita or boss Pratiyogita. But what? There is a better proposition. What is better provision? I am God. Now if I am God, I am always the winner. So Ekatvena means one who considers himself as God. There are a lot of philosophy. They say that ultimately by meditation, by practicing spirituality, you will become God. That is the goal of all this spirituality. आत्मा का परमात्मा के साथ विलीन हो जाएगा, आत्मा परमात्मा बन जाएगा, ब्रह्म में लीन हो जाएगा, and you will become God. Right? So, either you deny God, then you are boss, or you only declare that you are God, then you are the boss. So that is why this Ekatvena is also called covered atheism. Because if everyone is God, then there is no God, na? Bolo na? Correct? If everyone is God, then what is the meaning of God? The basic meaning of God means He is the Supreme. But if everyone is Supreme, there is anarchy only, then there is no king. Just like everyone is a king, सब कोई राजा है. अरे ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है, सब राजा है. So this is called covered atheism, Ekatvena. Why? Because they consider everyone as God. Then there is no God only. Everyone, you are God, I am God. Why anyone has to be upset? Everyone is a God, right? So we'll not recite this verse because we have already recited. And then there is the second category is called Prithaktvena. Prithaktvena, there are demigod worshippers. Their goal is to go to Swargaloka. Okay? They worship the demigods, they go to Swargaloka, and then again they have to come down. They'll go to the Swargaloka with some punya karma, and then they will have to come down from the Swargaloka to the material world. Right? What is the problem going to the demigod loka? It is temporary. We have already discussed so much how the demigods, their benedictions are temporary. They will even if you go to Swargaloka, you can go with punya karma. So you get some punya in earth. So with that punya, you go to Swarga, where there is enjoyment. And when the punya is over, then again you have to come down from Swarga to the earth. So in Swargaloka, everything is a countdown. Let's say Swargaloka में आपने एक आउटलेट में जाके बर्गर खा लिया, so आपका काउंटडाउन घट गया, हो 5000 हो गया, अरे आज बर्गर खा लिया. तो यू आर इन कांस्टेंट, आपने जाके अप्सरा का डांस देख के आ गया, ओ फिर 2000 घट गया, फिर so there is, you are in constant anxiety कि मेरा काउंटडाउन घटते जा रहा है. एंड इन स्वर्ग there is no outlet to increase your punya, वो नहीं है. If you want to get more punya credits, you have to come to earth only. And again earth आओ, फिर again punya करो, तो इस तरह. So this is a cycle. This is a cycle. You come to Swarga, go to earth, come to Swarga, go to earth. So this is Prithaktvena, the worship the demigods. So we will not discuss more because we have already discussed a lot about demigod worship. Okay. So it's, and next is Viswato Mukham. Viswato Mukham, they are universal worshippers, universe worshippers. Nowadays people worship the universe, right? They worship the cosmic energy, the pranic energy, this energy, that energy. So these are all the universe worshippers. They worship the sun, they worship the moon. The pranic healers, they will worship the moon and get the moon rays, the sun rays, this and that. So they are universal worshipper. They worship the energy of the Lord. And the fourth category among the Nitya Baddhas is the devotee of the Lord who worships Lord Krishna directly and who wants to become again a Nitya Siddha. So this is the purpose. So to end, this is material world, this is spiritual world. In material world there is atheist who don't believe as God, and then there are three categories of theist: demigod worshippers, the demigod worshippers, the universal worshippers, and the ekatvena. So they all want to stay in material world. These 2 to 5, they want to stay in material world. But the devotee of the Lord, he knows that this is not my home. My real home is in spiritual world. So he worships Krishna and becomes a devotee and goes back to spiritual world. So the goal of life is to go to spiritual world, and the process to attain this goal is bhakti. So there are two things. One is called sambandha. I think we have read about it. Sambandha. Next is what?
Abhideya.
Yeah, very good. Abhideya. Next is what? Okay. Prayojan. Perfect. So sambandha is to understand our relationship. That is, we are das, and our home is in spiritual world. Abhideya means how I can go, how now I am in material world, how I can go to spiritual world? Performing bhakti. And prayojan is to finally live in spiritual world. So bhakti yoga is the process of taking a jiva from material world to spiritual world. That is the goal of life. We are all Nitya Baddhas now. So by performing bhakti, we can become Nitya Siddhas. And I have personally seen this. People who come to ISKCON, before practicing bhakti, they were so much ऐसे आते थे, and दंडवत करने के लिए बोलेंगे, हो गया स्वामी जी, हो गया. Now, after spending some 6 months training in ISKCON and everything, coming to ISKCON, दंडवत पूरा भगवान के सामने पूरा ऐसे दंडवत करता है. मतलब दास भाव बढ़ रहा है. पहले बॉस था, भगवान के सामने भी बस हो गया स्वामी जी, अभी दंडवत कर रहा है. So that means we all should understand that our real identity is servant. Not just our real identity, everyone. And more we come to this identity, more we live with this identity, in harmony with this identity, we will find eternal peace. And also we will go back to spiritual world, which is our eternal home. And more we live in this identity, I am boss, I am boss, I am boss. You may think artificially in illusion that you are boss, but you will be the most miserable person in the entire creation. But if you accept this identity that I am servant of everyone, then you will be most peaceful person in the entire universe. And then Krishna will accept you, because in spiritual world everyone is in das. अब हम जाएंगे बॉस भाव से तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा उधर, है कि नहीं? हम बोलेंगे राधा रानी दूध लेके आओ, ललिता पैर दबाओ, हाँ कृष्णा क्या चल रहा है? So Krishna doesn't want managerial issues there. Krishna doesn't want management, constitution, government, democracy. ये कुछ नहीं चाहते हैं वृंदावन धाम में. And that's why screening बहुत कड़क है. There is no चल बेनाय चल बेनाय चल बेनाय चल बेनाय, वो सब नहीं चाहते हैं भगवान उधर. मोर्चा लगाना, ये करना, वो करना, ऐसे करना. This all, it will disturb the atmosphere of spiritual world. And that's why who will enter to spiritual world, the criteria is he has to be in dasya bhav. If he is in dasya bhav, he is in spiritual world. But if he is in boss bhav, let him suffer in material world. Let him go through janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Let him get all diseases, whatever you want, let him do. All the souls who want to be in boss bhav come together in material world, they trouble each other. Okay? And till the time we are in material world, अभी तो तुरंत नहीं जा सकते हैं, जब तक हैं तब तक अगर हम दास्य भाव में आ जाएंगे, हस्बैंड वाइफ भाई बच्चे भाई बहन सब मिलके अगर दास्य भाव में आ जाएंगे, तो यहां रहते हुए हम वृंदावन धाम की अनुभूति कर सकते हैं. ओके, तो हाउ टू डू डिवोशनल सर्विस, ये भक्ति योगा क्या है, कैसा है, तो ये हम नेक्स्ट क्लास डिस्कस करेंगे. नेक्स्ट क्लास विल कंप्लीट दिस सेशन ऑन भक्ति योगा. ओके, all the best. Hare Krishna. Sorry I became late today and I am leaving you now only, though certain more things were remaining. We'll discuss next class. Vancha kalpataru vasya kripa sindhu vevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I hope all of you are chanting Hare Krishna, and I am so happy that all of you are reading Bhagavad Gita, and we almost covered, and this is the end portion of Bhagavad Gita. So all of you please chant Hare Krishna every day, okay? And please remember the goal of life is to go back to Godhead and to really unite with Krishna, who is our real friend, who is our real person, and we have forgotten his relationship. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, Kahai Sunai Bahu, Vidha Sadhu Santa. So हम सब साधु संत, we have become like this just to tell to the whole world. Our job is just to tell all of you, fold our hands, beg, become a devotee of Krishna and go back to Krishna. Don't stay here, don't suffer here. So this is, today I am telling all of you. So if you, all of you समझ जाते हैं, राजी हो जाते हैं, अच्छे से भक्ति करके निकल जाएंगे. और मैं तो आपके लिए रुकने वाला नहीं हूं, मैं भी निकल जाऊंगा. पर अगर आप रुकने वाले हैं, रुकना चाहते हैं, कोई और आएगा आपको बोलेगा कि सुभायान निकलो इधर से, इस जीवन में नहीं निकला, फिर नेक्स्ट जीवन में और कुछ बन जाएंगे, निकलो इधर से, निकलो इधर से, निकलो इधर से. जन्म जन्म से भगवान आपके जीवन में अलग अलग लोगों को भेजे हैं यही बोलने के लिए, बेटा घर वापस आ जा, बेटी कब तक तुम और रहेगी घर से दूर, घर वापस आ जा. तो ये हमारी घर वापसी प्रोग्राम है. भगवत गीता जो है वो है घर वापसी प्रोग्राम. जितना जल्दी आप समझ जाएंगे उतना जल्दी वापस जाने का बेड़िया बिस्तर पैक करेंगे. हम तो इधर बेड़िया बिस्तर खोलने में लगे हुए हैं, इधर प्रॉपर्टी बांधो, उधर प्रॉपर्टी बांधो, इसको जगाओ, उसको जगाओ, इसको जगाओ. प्राणी दो है रहने के लिए, हस्बैंड वाइफ, पर 10 शहर में 10 तो घर है. पता नहीं क्या करेगा वो, सब तो छोड़ के जाना ही है. हाय रे हाय, इतना माया भरा हुआ है. तो हमको समझना चाहिए जितना इस दुनिया में जरूरत है रहने के लिए, खाने के लिए, जितना सेविंग्स जरूरत है उधर उतना रख के बाकी सब में भक्ति में लग जाना चाहिए और निकल जाना चाहिए. If really you are concerned about your husband, If you are really concerned about your wife and children and everyone, then make them, try to help them to become devotees of Krishna, help them to go back to Krishna. This relationship is temporary. The husband-wife relationship, children relationship are temporary. They were not there many years before. But this temporary relationship can be converted into an eternal relationship. Okay? All the best. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.